K. Raghu, CA R. Balakrishnan, and CA Manoj Fadnis onto the stage, please. Yes, members, let us have a round of applause for this illustrious leaders on the stage. May I now request C.A. Ranjit Warrier, Chairman of Ernakulam Branch, for the welcome address.
Once again, a very, very good morning to all of you. Very respected President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In fact, a big brother to Ernakulam Branch and its members, CA Nihar Jambusaria, sir. Very respected Central Council members, very respected past presidents, SIRC chairman, and my dear managing committee colleagues and respected participants. Like I already gave a brief welcome in the morning. Indeed, it is for all of us at the Ernakulam Branch Committee, and I'm sure the past chairman, very illustrious past chairman, it is a goosebump moment for all of us that this kind of a dream that we thought or we should be achieving, we were trying for at least for the last decade or so, it is coming into reality now. It is coming into reality now. So unbelievable moment for all of us. Big thanks, big salute to Honorable President Sir, to all the respected Central Council members, Southern India Regional Council members, for guiding us, for supporting us, for materializing, helping us materialize this iconic project of us, this dream of all of us at Ernakulam Branch come true. With this very few little words, let me wholeheartedly welcome our most respected President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Nihar Jambusaria, sir. May I invite and request past chairman, CA PJ Johnny sir, to kindly present a floral bouquet to our president, please. I will not want to take much time. We would all be eagerly waiting to listen from our most respected president and from the panelists, or rather the past presidents, very respected past presidents of the Institute. With very few words, let me once again wholeheartedly welcome each one of you to this august gathering, to this ceremony, and to this conference today. Once again, thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai ICAI.
Thank you, Chairman. I now request the President of ICAI, CA Nihar Jambusaria, to light the lamp, and I request all Central Council members and panelists to join. President to kindly address the gathering. Sir, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Honorable past presidents of the Institute, CA Balakrishnan ji, CA Raghu ji, CA Manoj Fadnis ji, the Chairman of Professional Development Committee, CA Babu Abraham, Vice Chairman, CA Satish Gupta, my colleague in the Council and Chairman of Accounting Standard Board, CA MP Vijay Kumar ji, CA K Jalapathy, CA Ranjit Warrior, CA Srinivasan, and all the participants of this conference. Let me at the outset wish you all a very happy New Year 2022. Friends, let me compliment the branch and more particularly the council member CA Babu Abraham for working relentlessly for the project of land for Ernakulam branch. I understand that for a decade this project was being planned and for some reason or the other it was getting postponed, and sometimes when some projects take longer time, then the delay becomes inordinate. But somehow Babu Abraham ji and even the branch chairman Ranjit Warrior both worked like warriors and got this project completed for the branch. I am sure that the branch will have tremendous advantage of having its own premises, although you have one which is not sufficient, which was established in 1986, and looking at the current requirement, it was grossly inadequate. New premises were required. What I would suggest is that we have 164 branches in the country, and I think around 90 branches are blessed with their own buildings. And when we have buildings in almost 100 places in the country, let us do the brand building of the institute, carry on our activities in such a way that these buildings become the brand of the institute, brand of the CA profession. In some of the areas, the local bodies named local roads as ICAI road. Going forward, you do such activities in the branch that the local authorities will be inclined to name that area by ICAI area or ICAI road. Many research activities of the institute which are going on, I would feel that at ground level, at grassroots level, every branch can contribute to the efforts of the institute in every research and in every activity of the institute. When informally I was talking with members, some of the members raised concern about GST audit, the turnover limit going up for tax audit, and were apprehending that perhaps some work for the profession has been withdrawn. Even for branch audit, some of the banks are taking this as cost which they are considering as evitable, but which is inevitable. Let me inform members that at ICAI level, we have done everything to explain to the government that it is not that we are asking for jobs for chartered accountants, but it is in the interest of the country to have these audits done. The certifications which chartered accountants were doing for GST, if these reconciliations stop, who is the sufferer? And the government was feeling that perhaps very less value was added by audits. And we informed them that chartered accountants were not only reporting what was required to be reported, but they were insisting on the client that they should pay GST on certain transactions where they were not properly recorded or they were not covered in the return. So it is for the country that the loss will be there, and particularly for some of the compliances, those compliances cannot be avoided or the cost cannot be reduced at the risk of revenue of the government getting affected. Even for banks, some of the branches which are under no inspection, the banks were making an attempt to avoid audit of those branches. Recently, we had 3 rounds of discussions with RBI. There was one meeting with DG and DD. There was one meeting with the governor of RBI. And now they have formed a round table to meet every quarterly, where such issues are being discussed in detail, and we are highlighting the need for audit, and we are showing them what risk the bank would run if certain audits are completely done away with. So at least at institute level, we are trying to do our best, but many times the decisions are taken by the government for considerations which they know, and the members should continue to do their jobs. Now let me come to the other side. For 72 years, we have depended on audit so much that we have forgotten that new areas are emerging for our profession. You look at automation, look at the developments in technology in the form of artificial intelligence, data analytics, blockchain, robotic processes. Look at the new areas coming up. During the pandemic, when MSMEs were the worst sufferers, so many governments, state governments have come out with packages for MSMEs. And the Institute set up a dedicated committee for MSMEs and startup. During such period, advisory to MSME is new area which has emerged for our profession. Look at sustainability. The entire world is looking at climate change very seriously. And along with climate change, many other sustainability development goals like gender equality, poverty, education, healthcare, the government is attaching utmost importance. And 6 months back, SEBI declared that for top 1,000 listed companies, now reporting for non-financials is mandatory from financial year 22-23. Going forward, this may become mandatory for even smaller companies. Many new areas are coming up, and I may request members to look at these areas where there is good scope for the practice. For last many years, the Institute and the Council were of the opinion that the Indian firms should grow big. This is also in line with the thinking of the Prime Minister that Indian firms should grow big and deliver the best value to the society. To encourage bigger firms, the Institute looked at the old networking guidelines and have come out with the new guidelines which are more conducive to the happening of networkings. Even multidisciplinary partnerships. Look at the newer areas, and I may give you only one example. Insolvency law practice. Many chartered accountants have qualified as IPs, but they know that when they are appointed as RP, they require services of advocates, engineers, architects, actuaries, valuers. And if all these professionals become their partner, the firms can grow big, they can command greater strength, and they can deliver good value. So the Institute had already applied to the MCA, and this year the MCA has approved our MDP rules. I think every branch would be doing programs on networking and multidisciplinary partnerships. These are new areas for growth which the members should look at. Again, I am saying that at the Institute, to protect audits, we are trying to do everything. But apart from audits, many new areas are emerging, and you all must have a look at all those areas. One more concern that members raised in the recent past, particularly after September, when the then chairman of NFRA published a consultation paper and expressed a view that small companies are not required to have audits. And the members started feeling that government will abolish or eliminate audits of small companies. We had dialogue with the ministry and we apprised them that all companies are having the benefit of limited liability. If their audits are avoided, then a lot of malpractices in accounting will flare up later. And they said that there is no such thought process within the government, and the audits of all these companies will continue. So all these we had clarified, but for the benefit of members, let me repeat that at present there is no such thinking. All these audits will continue, but in the meantime, let us focus on many newer areas which are emerging for our practice and see that our profession is truly regarded as a profession where the society and businessmen can look upon chartered accountants not only as audit service providers, but as business solution provider. During the pandemic, even Niti Aayog and Ministry for Commerce and Industry approached ICAI with a request to give suggestions for ease of doing and also for increasing investment in our country. We formed several research groups and we sent our suggestions to Niti Aayog on which there were presentations. And this is how we are contributing in other areas also. So these are the developments which are taking place through our journal and videos which we bring out from time to time. We inform members about so many opportunities which are available. On technology particularly, on all these new advanced technologies, the courses custom to CA practice are designed by our Digital Accounting and Assurance Board on artificial intelligence, data analytics, cyber security, and members can take advantage of these courses and be hands-on with technology, which will enable you to grow faster. There is nothing to worry about these new technologies taking over some of our routine compliance functions. So these are some of the developments which I thought I will share with you today. When Vice President will come for foundation stone laying ceremony, perhaps we will not have longer time to talk about all this. And therefore, I was told that if you can share these initiatives with the members will get a feel of what is going on. So with this, once again, my best wishes for the new year. Let us hope the new year brings lot of opportunities for our profession, and along with the country, we all will grow and cherish and flourish. Thank you so much for inviting. Thank you.
Thank you, President Sir, for those wonderful words, for words of motivation, and for your support and blessings to Ernakulam branch. Thank you very much, sir. Now we will proceed to the next technical session on the panel discussion. I may request the other dignitaries on the dais, you may occupy your seats off the dais, and I request the panelists to kindly remain on stage. Thank you. I guess one of the most awaited sessions of this program, and the highlight, I would say, is going to be this panel discussion, deliberations on positioning yourself to face the challenges of technology era and to bridge the expectation gap. I think this is one area where all of us are facing difficulties, challenges, and we have a very illustrious group of past presidents on stage to take through this panel discussion. And before we begin, I welcome each one of them, CA R. Balakrishnan, CA K. Raghu, and CA Manoj Fadnis to this August gathering. May I request our Regional Council member-elect, CA Satishan, CA Arun, and CA Uma Shiv to kindly come on stage and present floral bouquets and welcome our former presidents, the panelists of the next session. Members, let us welcome the panelists with a loud round of applause. Thank you, Satishan sir, Arun and Uma ma'am. Now may I request past President CA K. Raghu to take over from me and kickstart the session.
Good afternoon, all the distinguished members present here. The session plan would be like this. We will be talking about what is in store for the profession, how the profession would be maybe in the next decade. We have Mr. Balakrishnan who will be sharing his thoughts on how the profession was and how things have changed, and how ethics would play a big role, the way it is looked upon, especially by the regulators. Then I'll speak on how to build a new generation firm, what are the challenges, how could you take the profession, your professional firm to the next stage. And then finally, Mr. Manoj Fadnis would talk about the global developments that is taking place in the profession, the need for IFRS, the need for chartered accountants to specialize. I think some of the areas Mr. Manoj Fadnis would be taking. We have been given time till maybe 1 o'clock. Maybe I would request Mr. Balakrishnan to speak first. Then I would speak. Then I would request Mr. Manoj Fadnis to speak. We already have a lot of questions. We'll be very happy to take them also. Thank you.
The most respected President of the Institute, Nihar N. Jambusaria, the most delightful man who has been taking most interest in this Institute activities during this year. The difficult year, pandemic year, but he has been very successfully handling the issue. Vice President in absentia, Mitra, Chairman of the region, Mr. Jalapati, the chairman of the Ernakulam branch, Ranjit Warrier, my distinguished past presidents and colleagues in this session, Mr. Manoj Fadnis, who was not only the president of the institute past, but he is the past president of the CAPA, and left his office only in 2019. Mr. Raghu, a popular man among the region, who have been an informational technologist man from Bangalore. Since he was competing from Bangalore all these days, I thought somebody should substitute him also or assist him also. I settled from Madras to Bangalore now and living near him to learn something from him about this land. Today I have been called to chair a session in which I don't know anything. And distinguished newly elected members of the council, I see Kota Srinivasan there, distinguished council members of today, MPV and other council members, distinguished past council members, past chairman Srinivasan and other people here, and past chairman of the all branches in Kerala and other places, and council members here present from all over India, and members of the PD committee, chairman, and last but not the least, Babu Abraham, one of the most amazing, energetic man from this region, whom I thought I will address him in different capacity today. You should have been addressed in a different capacity today, sitting next to the president. But unfortunately, I am not able to do that. At least I'll come back here, and he will come back, and I'll come back to wish him as a Rajya Sabha member soon. Babu Abraham has been doing a wonderful job here. My distinguished delegates from this region, Kerala. Kerala, why I love? So many reasons. People thought I am a Keralite. Yes, I am a Keralite. Then I am all India, of course, that's a different issue. I learned my first alphabet in this Kerala. Kannanur. 47. When you know my age then. 47, I learned my alphabet. That you know my age, you can guess. And then lived in Palakkad, and when the state was separated in 53, I had to go back to Tamil Nadu, live there. But my two sons, who are not chartered accountants, thought some relation should be brought back. So they married one Nair and Menon from Kerala, and they got two daughter-in-laws from Kerala. So all the things in Kerala with me, we celebrate Onam, we celebrate Deepavali, and all these things we do. And Kerala is in my heart. I want people from Kerala to represent more in the council, more in the region. And I've had those days. I miss the distinguished people here, like Venugopal Govind and other people. I recognize his sons here, but anyway, they're all missing here today by pandemic reasons. They're all afraid. At 78, 80, they're afraid of coming out of the house. But I thought I'll go out in spite of the objection from family, and Raghu, his wife, was preventing him, but he came all the way from there, and Manoj Fadnis has taken active interest, with whom I had the pleasure of serving after being a president as a chairman of the committee of ethical standards those days in 2001. And I had a great pleasure of having been in Kerala, in India, and be with you all. Above all, I came here. My president, I was vice president in 86, was a PA Nair from this region. Of course, he was in Bombay. We came here. I said, Nair, we must have something, Kerala. I must have the foundation for this Ernakulam branch. Bala, you go ahead, but give me a chance. I am from that place. I will lay the foundation and will come there. You also come with me. We be together. You be the chief guest. So still the board, I thought, you are keeping it intact there, the board. I came in 85 as the vice president. I laid the foundation for the Divan ICAI Bhavan those days. And never knowing, again, in 2021, I will be back here. It became 2022 here. First occasion for me on the third day of this month to address a meeting like many of you here. And I am here. This Vice President of India, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, has been very kind enough to come and lay the foundation for this building. And I, being the senior most past president of this region, living today, I must thank the Institute President for financing the 100% money for the land purchase and the building in Ernakulam 100%. Our chairman yesterday, Ranjit, told me, and past chairman told me, they don't want to penalize the local people during the pandemic period. And they have a wonderful place near the incoming metro station here in Banerjee Road, behind Chittur Road. They got a beautiful plat. I know in 2 more years, you will have a beautiful building there with 4 floors. And then I wish a lady of this region will be a chairman. And I wish I come there, able to walk and come. Able to walk. Because I don't know, next year it may be difficult. 2 years, it should not be difficult with all the cooperation from the people from this region. You will have a building here. Manoj and Raghu will come young. I will also try to come. We'll see that day when it comes. Everything will go on for you all. By the time Institute is developing in technology, I must come to this topic also because the 2 experts are sitting there. Now already we are 1 hour late. We have got this session also, they're going to cut charge because the security will throw us out otherwise. Because the President, Vice President, security are already trying to occupy the stage. So I will cut it short. And now I'll introduce the thing, what is happening today. We are having absolute technology taking over us. You know, the audit profession, the companies, the professional bodies, and regulators are increasing their focus on the impact and challenges of technology. There are a lot of benefits out of it. We are gaining a lot of benefits. I know the Institute, one day earlier, when we didn't have a calculator, we didn't have a computer. Our past presidents may be surprised to know that one of the first computer centers in this region I inaugurated in '87 with 1 computer, with photographers around. 1 computer, single computer in the region head office at Chennai, I inaugurated in '87. See how backward we are at that time. And we had that 1 gentleman we appointed, and there will be 6 computers, people sitting there, knowing there is some elephant are sitting there like Kerala elephants. That computer. It was the day, that day. And then I inaugurated with it, knowing what is computer. 15 computer centers, Salem and etc. Now, today, you know what is ruling us? Only computers. Everything digital. Whatever you say is digital. You are not able to enroll yourselves as member because you have to go through digital. Members complain. We are not able to employ. I have to go to the help of people. We are in difficulty. Everything computerized. You are all there. Today we are ruled by computer. Auditing by computer. This thing by computer. What a fast sub. Those days. There are many ladies chartered accountants. Today I was told, President told me 29% are chartered accountants. I hope it will be 50% soon. Because ladies are taking interest, they are working from home. So the technology is developing. I'm mixing topics because you know what is the fact. So technology is there. That year, 87. The first year I saw 17 lakhs surplus for the institute, a profit. 17 lakhs. Today, they are giving to you 14 crores grant for the purchase of the land and 5 crores for the purchase building of the building free. 1 branch. Why? That is the development of the institute in the past, and we gave 21 crores for this sad occasion in the country to the nation. Still, they don't want to give you 21 days extra time. Of course, they gave some time. For giving 21 days extension, they are thinking. Of course, we are not suffering. We have cooperated. Today, 6 lakhs returns have been, 6 crores have been filed today. With our cooperation, please understand. We couldn't sleep. We couldn't work with the family. We were there and we cooperated with the finance minister, a lady there, and seen everything going on well because of technology development. Technology. We sat at home and I did more returns this year than last 2-3 years back because I was sitting all the time before the machine. This is technological development today. That's the session we are in now. Now, coming to that, there are a lot of risk in it. We are not able to see the books. We are not able to see the things. We are not able to see much interaction. Still, the risk is there. Development is there. Now, you know, bankers, when you go, immediately they open the account. Where is KYC? KYC, what is it? Know your client. So you give your Aadhaar, they say. Everywhere. Now the marriage also, they say, enter the hall with the Aadhaar card. The wife asking the husband, where is your Aadhaar card? Asking like that and sitting. This is what? Now, you will have only 1 KYC is there, knowing your customer. KYD, knowing your data has come now. And tomorrow, know your wife, know your husband will come. That is the KYW and KYD come. That is the way we are living in. Now we have got the artificial intelligence, blockchain. I know cycle chain, motorcycle chain. Now they say blockchain. Our Fadnis and Raghu will tell you what is blockchain. And now we have data analytics, cloud computing. The cloud, those days when I was a student, little bit CA, the cloud seeding was there to get rain. The first man came from outside the country and seeded cloud to get the rain. Yesterday in Chennai, you couldn't walk because it was full of rain. Now rain is coming in Kerala, everywhere. Chennai, we were clouding rain. Today, the cloud accounting, cloud technology, cloud computing, it has come. I don't know, many of you may not know, I also don't know, but still I can talk about cloud. That is the thing today. There is a huge challenge today because of 100% checking, we are doing only 5%. And we are certifying the same thing. Of course, we are taking a challenge, but we are growing in intelligence. Now, that we have to give new assurance to our clients today. Old assurance are all gone. New suit of assurance under the modern technology we have to give today. And there are a lot of developments in other technology going on, which I don't want to take your time and tell you, because we have to cut short, they are going to have a lot of talk there. Then now, Institute thankfully has opened up multidisciplinary partnership. In that, we must have computer specialists, computer technologies and engineers and everything as partners. Otherwise, it will be totally impossible to challenge with other professionals who are competing with us to come in the accounting and financing field, and we have to hire our partner and do with them. So we need a combination blend of human capital resources today, incorporating specialized technology and digital skills, technical accounting and auditing skill, and professional skill. As such, communication and leadership should be there. So with all these things, our role will be totally different tomorrow. I know the youngsters today, what challenge I cannot pass the exam today, impossible. Today, the youngsters, how they cope up with the syllabus, everything, they come with all technology in their hand, and now doing so wonderful things. It's a thing happening, and the technology is growing, things are growing, and the only thing is we professionals will come out of our shell and challenge the other people, other professionals who are all other different faculties. Engineers are becoming accountants. So we have to challenge them and see our profession goes to a greater height, and hopefully, I know you are going to have the foundation stone ceremony today, and 2 years later I told you, big building, big computers, everything there, all technology will be there. And we'll all, of course, we are not capable of doing anything. We have to spend time. We have to take people, we'll associate people, and we can do that. With these few words, I don't want to take your time. With these introductory remarks, I request our great CAPA past president, Institute past president, next. Institute past president, same. Then our Raghu, the Manoj Fadnis from Indur. He is from Indur. He had a wonderful career. After being a president, I sat before him as a member of a committee in which he told me, sir, you come and sit with us. Because he didn't want to get inspiration. He wanted to see whether inspiration is still in my mind. And I got more inspiration from him than getting inspiration from him. I had a wonderful year in 2000, Code of Ethics, all. We consolidated that year. Then only we started. It was piecemeal, 39, I think, that time. We did up to 40, 39 that time. Now it is going, of course, stood there, now not increasing. What we did today, Code of Ethics, maybe 44, 43, I don't know. 39, we consolidated, sitting there. Those were days. So one of the wonderful men, and Manoj Fadnis, is going to give you a wonderful speech today, and Raghu will follow it up. And thank you very much, the Region Institute Postgraduate Professional Development Committee. I served there. And all of you here present, being with me and with us to have the session for another 45 minutes here. Thank you very much. Please, thank you.
I think, friends, we should give a big round of applause to our past president, Balakrishnan, who is such a great inspiration for all of us. I think most of the members present here, I've seen him on various occasions, various regional conferences. He's 78 years, and he has so much of love for the profession, love for the members. And now he's in Bangalore, he's recently shifted to Bangalore. I have the occasion of meeting him quite frequently. What I can see from him is the love for the profession, the pride in being a chartered accountant, and the love for the institute. I think hats off to you, sir, for your commitment, for your passion. And I'm sure all the chartered accountants present here would be immensely happy for the contributions, what you have done. I still remember when he was a president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, way back in 1987, he was so popular. Even now, Mr. Balakrishnan is so active. I think he has given a lot of insights about how the profession would be moving forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Balakrishnan. Friends, it's time for me to make my presentation. So, I would like to thank Mr. Babu Abraham, a good friend of mine. I had the opportunity of working with him for one term in the council. Of course, I've seen him as the regional council member, extremely dedicated, passionate member, always working for the welfare of members in the country, and more so for the members in the state of Kerala. I've had the opportunity of visiting all the branches in Kerala, and I should compliment all the members of Kerala for the kind of support they've extended to all the activities of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Having said this, I would like to greet our newly elected regional central council members, Mr. Kota Srinivas from Bangalore, who's here, and Rekha from Chennai. She's also been elected to the regional council. Of course, our president is not there, Mr. Nihar Jambusaria, and also Mr. Babu Abraham. My compliments to Mr. Babu Abraham for initiating this project, for the foundation laying ceremony of the ICAI Ernakulam branch. A beautiful branch building is coming up shortly, and I'm sure it will be a great contribution to the profession here in this part of the country, God's own country, where we have so many chartered accountants practicing here, working here, so many students taking up the chartered accountancy course. The kind of state-of-the-art building that has been planned with a state-of-the-art computer center, reading halls, auditorium, I'm sure will be a game changer for all the students in and around Kerala. My compliments to the chairman, Mr. Warrior, for the excellent work he has been putting, Ranjit Warrior, and Mr. Babu Abraham for initiating this project. And we wish them good luck. And we would all see this afternoon when the Honorable Vice President of India, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, would be laying the foundation stone for this beautiful branch building. As Mr. Balakrishnan rightly said, few years from now, we'll have a state-of-the-art building, and we will have an opportunity to visit Ernakulam once again and be a part of this celebration. Friends, greetings to you for the new year. It's time for business. Now, my presentation would be on what will be the future of the profession. I think a lot of our earlier speakers have spoken upon how technology would impact the profession. And my presentation would take you through how each one of us sitting here should plan the profession, how we need to build new generation firms, how we need to invest in technology, what is happening around us. So what I've done is I've just maybe the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes I'll be talking about what is in store for each one of us. And to begin with, the current COVID scenario has impacted the global economy, and even the Indian economy has impacted very badly. And of course, when you look at US and Europe, many of the countries, they are on the brink, with rising unemployment, a recession setting in a few economies. And even in India, if you see, there's an overall deterioration in the business confidence. I'm sure when you're interacting with your clients, you're able to feel that. And many fiscal packages have been rolled out by the government of India, but yes, a lot more to be done. But then what is very important is that we as chartered accountants can play a very important role in trying to support the clients in these challenging times. Friends, every challenge is an opportunity. I think we should try to sort of motivate our clients, try to help our clients to see how they navigate through this troubled time. because we have a very important role to play, not only in helping our clients, but also helping the government. Government is looking forward for the support of the institute, for the support of our membership in ensuring that we're able to navigate through this, troubled times. And today, business is growing exponentially. The way business is happening on the internet, the way e-commerce has grown, I think a lot of opportunities for each one of us sitting here. I can only say that the accounting profession must remain resilient in the times of crisis, and we should take the lead in helping the economy to recover soon. Whether it is the clients, whether it's the government, we should put our foot forward and try to handhold them and support them so that they're able to navigate through this difficult time. So friends, having said this, what is the transformation that is required for all of us sitting here? Most of us being practicing chartered accountants, I think we need to leverage on technology. Our past president Balakrishnan very rightly said, there's a need for us to embrace technology. We have embraced it, but there's a need for us to see that how best we can leverage on technology to deliver our services today. Clients are global. You're able to offer services to clients sitting here in Cochin. I've come across many chartered accountants in Cochin who are offering services to clients situated around the world. So you need to offer services to clients around the world. So you need to have a very strong technology backbone in your office. Yes, talent management is also very critical, how you build the right talent. A lot of new areas are opening up. You do not have the talent in your firm. How do you build the talent would be another challenge that each one of us would have. And finally, how advisory services would be the future. Yes, traditional areas like audit are under, you can say in the scanner, there's a fear that small audits for small companies might vanish. There's a fear that the threshold for tax audits would increase. And many chartered accountants whom I met in the morning said, Mr. Raghu, I think the institute should do something about this. Every sector of the economy would get impacted. All of us have seen the telecom revolution, how the entire telecom sector got impacted. So also I personally feel that our profession also would get impacted. There will be some changes that would take place. We should all be prepared for this change. So there's a need for us to focus on business advisory services. If you look at some of the top accounting firms globally, most of the revenue is coming from consulting. If you just look into what is the revenue from audit and assurance, revenue from consulting, both direct taxes and indirect taxes, revenue from advisory, you'll be surprised and maybe happy to note that around the world, whether it's Europe, whether it's United States of America, whether it's UAE, a lot of revenue is coming from consulting. So this is one area where each one of us should focus, strengthen our consulting verticals in our offices and see how best we can try to be of help to our client in providing business advisory services. So what is happening is that we are in the midst of a digital economy. The government is giving a big push to digital transactions, and a lot of new business models are being developed. Who knew how the platforms like Dunzo, Zomato have all become household names? Thanks to COVID, even companies like Pharmeasy became where you were able to order your medicines online, your food online. A lot of educational portals also became popular, like Byju's. Many successful portals were able to offer, you can say coaching to students for all levels, whether it's primary, middle, high school, and even post-graduation. Online education became a big success. Of course, online banking was there, but UPI brought about a transformation, the way you scan the QR code. So what has happened is that today we find that we feel that e-commerce has transformed the way business is happening. Even traditional businesses have moved on to the e-commerce platform. Today, buying a tie or booking an air ticket or booking a holiday, everything is online. And all of us have seen the ease in which business is being carried out today. Today, we find the housewives, getting out of home and ordering for a Ola taxi or a, Uber rickshaw, and they're able to, do all their transactions, whether it's purchase of groceries, purchase of vegetables, everything has become online, and there's a huge transformation that has taken place. So when such a transformation has taken place, there'll be a change the way we carry out audit for such organizations. I think IT audit would also undergo a huge change. You need to build in the right kind of tools, IT applications to see that you're able to effectively audit the transactions that is happening online, because the client wants you to give an assurance that everything is happening fine, the payment gateway is working fine, dispatches are happening properly. So as a chartered accountant, I think you need to give an assurance to the management if it is having an online platform that everything is going fine. Today, you talk about e-wallets, as I told you, has become so popular, like Paytm or, Phone Pay. Stock market trading, you can sit at the comfort of your home and, trade in the stock market. Volumes of transactions, Zerodha is a good example. Millions of customers have, enrolled onto the Zerodha platform. They're able to transact online. Then we have online insurance portal, I think, where you can buy your medical insurance, personal insurance online. The way the whole invoicing is happening, tax computation is happening, everything has undergone a sea change. So I think in this scenario, there's a lot of change chartered accountants have to, be involved in. And we should be completely aware of how these e-commerce companies are operating. Coming to the startup ecosystem, there are plenty of opportunities in the startup ecosystem. This is one area I think each one of us should try to see how best we could focus on. I come from a city like Bangalore where the startup ecosystem is very, very active. As of June 3rd, 2021, there are more than 50,000 startups registered with the Government of India, and almost 70 unicorn startups have become unicorns in the year 2021. 70 startups have become unicorns, and in 2021 itself, more than 40 have entered. So we have all seen how, startups that entered the Indian Unicorn Club in 2021 is BharatPay, Cred, Meesho, Pharmacy, Vedantu. All this have become extremely popular and relevant. Yes, for startups, there are a lot of things you can support them. You can be the strategic partner. You can help them in accounting. You can help them in compliances. You can help them in payroll. Lot of opportunity. You can help them in funding, help them in preparing a business plan. Plenty of opportunities in the startup space. So I would suggest each one of you that yes, you should start advising startups. Startup space would continue to grow, and this is one area where we can offer our services. Talking about artificial intelligence would be built in tax utilities. Way forward, I've seen a lot of tax utilities that has artificial intelligence tools. You'll be able to access the latest decisions of the Supreme Court, latest decisions of the High Court, the recent ITH editions on any section of the Income Tax Act or the GST Act using artificial intelligence. Businessmen can, automate their business processes, analyze the inventory, levels of inventory, everything using artificial intelligence. So you need to have the knowledge of AI, and chartered accountants having the knowledge of AI are in great demand globally. Blockchain, the banking sector would be the first sector to embrace blockchain. The Reserve Bank of India has given a mandate to all the public sector banks. They set up a task force to see how blockchain could be introduced to India. Maybe in a few years from now, all of us would need to have the knowledge of blockchain, because all your concurrent audits, all your revenue audits, your year-end statutory audits, everything would happen on a blockchain environment. I think the Digital Accounting Standards Board have a lot of courses on blockchain that will help you understand what blockchain is. I would not go into the details of blockchain because blockchain is a new technology, emerging technology. And myself and Mr. Manoj Fadnis, when we were on the IFAC board, when I was on the IFAC board, Mr. Manoj Fadnis, my technical advisor, there was a presentation by IBM on how blockchain would impact the auditing profession. So I see that the blockchain in the banking sector would impact, because in the banking sector today, most of our chartered accountants are involved in a variety of audits. So blockchain would bring about a change. Cloud accounting, Mr. Balakrishnan said how the data is moving to the cloud. It's time for us to move our client data also to the cloud, so that you can sit here at the comfort of your offices. If you're traveling, access all your clients' data. Of course, today all the softwares are cloud-based. You're able to file your GST returns wherever you're sitting, file your income tax returns. Cloud accounting is something that is becoming very, very popular. There's a need for us to invest in cloud infrastructure in our own offices. I think this is something which is lacking. I've gone around to many chartered account offices around the country. I think what is important is that we need to invest in a very robust IT infrastructure. So cloud is something that very, very, it's essential for you to move your clients' data to the cloud. Big data analytics, exciting opportunities. CAs having the knowledge of big data analytics. I see a lot of young chartered accountants sitting here. Could look at this as a career opportunity. robotic process automation, lot of routine activities like punching your invoices, doing your reconciliations can get automated. Then valuation, President talked about how valuation is becoming very, very popular. And today, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has a registered values organization, a Section 8 company. So if you are interested to become a valuation professional, if you want to get into valuation, I think this is a great opportunity. Then today, startup valuation also is gaining a lot of ground. You could be involved in valuation of a startup also. Mergers and acquisition, lot of mergers and acquisitions are happening. As chartered accountant, this is one area of practice where you can be involved in a merger, you could be involved in a takeover. You can help companies to unlock their value. Banking, having been a director of a nationalized bank in the recent past, I know how chartered accountants are contributing a lot to the growth of the banking sector. But in addition to the regular traditional audits, more chartered accountants are required in the field of forensic audit. I think this is one area which is very important. Frauds in the banking sector is increasing. And as the frauds are increasing, there's a need for forensic audits, and that is how forensic audit is gaining importance. In fact, during the pandemic, yes, you should get into it. And many times we feel that, we've been sick. If you go to England, chartered accountants with the knowledge of forensics are in great demand. If you have the knowledge of forensic, there's a job offers readily available to you in the entire Europe. So forensic audit is gaining ground in India, in the banking sector, corporate sector. Forensic auditors are in great demand. You should look at forensic accounting, IT consulting. Already we are there. And today with so many cyber frauds happening, there's a need for us to build a robust infrastructure to detect frauds, to see how best you can provide consulting services so that the cyber attacks, if it happens, everything is safe and secure. So cyber risk management has got an excellent opportunity for all of us. IFRS implementation, Mr. Vijay Kumar in the morning has talked about how IndAS is relevant for small and medium enterprises. IFRS globally is gaining ground. More than 150 countries have adopted IFRS in the preparation of financial statements. Our IndAS also is aligned with IFRS. So if you have the knowledge of IFRS, there's a career open for you around the world, whether it's Europe, whether it's America, whether it's UAE, whether it's Africa, whether it's Brazil. Opportunities are there in plenty. You should look at that. So this is a big picture. There's an international opportunity for all of you if you're an IFRS specialist. There's a great demand for valuation experts because in the IFRS regime, you need to have the knowledge of valuation. And yes, you could be involved in an IFRS transition project. Let us say if you're working in a company and the company is switching over to IFRS, you could be a part of the transition team. So what is the way forward for all of us? How do we go about it? Now that 2022 has set in, each of us would definitely like to see how we could, build our firms. I can only say, friends, that there's a need for each one of us. Yes, we are all having firms. I am also having a firm. Inherited a firm which is a 60-year-old firm. We are wedded to clients. We are used to the traditional areas of practice, but there's a need for us to build a new generation firm. What I would urge each one of you is that, yes, build a new generation firm. You can keep your existing firm intact. Because what I have seen when I've interacted with people, everyone is emotionally attached. They tell me, Mr. Raghu, I started my firm 30 years back. I started my firm 40 years back. I'm not keen on taking partners to my firm. I'm not keen on growing this business very aggressively. What my suggestion is that build a new generation firm. You can have an LLP. You can have a consulting company approved by the institute. Take young blood. Try to drive new talent in the organization and take up some of these areas which I've talked about so that you are able to leverage the opportunities that are available to each one of you. Finally, friends, upskilling is critical. I think that is something each one of us have to make it a point of see how best you can upskill yourself on a continuous basis, deep dive into some of the new emerging topics. And finally, as I said, technology, you have to embrace technology. There's no way. You have to work with IT vendors. You need to work with technology companies, understand emerging technologies, and try to see how best you can use technology to deliver services to clients abroad or within the country. And networking is something very, very critical. If you have to grow, you need to network with CA firms around the country, CA firms globally. You need to build your contacts not only in Ernakulam, maybe around the country, and that's how you'll be able to grow. With these thoughts, friends, I can only say there's nothing for us to panic. There's a lot of opportunities for us. It's for us to see how best we can structure our services in the changing times. And as our past president, Mr. Balakrishnan, very rightly said, I think our profession has been able to navigate through all the challenges, and even the current challenges what we are facing will be able to effectively navigate and try to see how each one of us could be successful in this, you can say, changing scenario. I wish good luck to each one of you, and we'll be very happy to take any questions. Now I would request Mr. Manoj Fadnis. He was, incidentally, when I was the president of the institute, Mr. Manoj Fadnis was the vice president. We had the opportunity of traveling around the world. We were in CAPA. I was in IFAC as the board member. He was my technical advisor. When I was in CAPA as a director of the board, he also used to be in CAPA. Then we worked in SAFA. A great friend of mine, supported all the initiatives of the institute, and we're very happy to have him here. I'm sure he will give his perspective as to how the profession should move forward, how ethics is important, what are the changes that have happened to the ethical code, what are the current challenges that we are facing today with National Financial Reporting Authority, and some of the statutory concerns what we have. I think I've requested Mr. Manoj Fadnis to highlight some of them. I'm sure he'll be able to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my President, Mr. K. Raghu. Distinguished past President, Mr. Balakrishnan, Mr. Raghu, our Honorable President in absentia, our distinguished Chairman of the PD Committee, and the man who has got all of us here today, C.A. Babu, a great friend of all of us and who has untiringly worked not just for Ernakulam, not just for Kerala, but for the entire profession, the length and breadth of our country. Our very distinguished council members who are present here, Mr. M.P. Vijay Kumar, C.A. Anuj Goyal, C.A. Satish Gupta, C.A. Rajesh Sharma, Chairman of SIRC, C.A. Jalapati, Chairman of Ernakulam branch, Ranjit Warrior, our newly elected council member, C.A. Kotha Srinivasan, newly elected members in the regional council, and the past chairman of the regional council, Joman George, distinguished friends, my dear sisters and brothers in profession. We got a very scintillating speeches by the two esteemed past presidents, both senior to me in the institute, as to what are the challenges facing the institute, what are the opportunities available to us, and how to overcome these opportunities and how to overcome these challenges and convert them into opportunities. So, friends, I got a limited time available to me. I would just start with what I read in this excellent coverage to the institute activities brought out by the PD committee, chairman of the PD committee, and what the chairman wrote in this newspaper, Coping with New Challenges. I thought that should be the starting point for what I wish to deliberate. And I quote, with the permission of my friend Babu Abraham, from this paper, he says, business are operating in a more demanding, unpredictable environment. Despair, however, is no answer. Recovery lies in bracing up and taking on the issues head on with hope and humility. So, I think this is what really summarizes what is before us. I'll just touch upon what I wish to convey. I got a set of questions prepared by the branch managing committee members and the others involved in organizing this conference. And very relevant questions have been put into this set of questionnaire which is before me. So, further to what Mr. Raghu mentioned in his brilliant presentation and what before that Mr. Balakrishnan mentioned about how to use the technology for carrying out what we are doing today. So, COVID has taught us lot many things. Before COVID came in, video meetings were not happening the way they should have happened. And the way the video meetings took place in last 2 years was amazing. So audits were conducted online, remotely, something which we had never thought we will be able to do. Conferences, physical conferences were given a goodbye, and we started having webinars. I had the privilege of attending various programs of Kerala branches, but always through video meetings, and I found those video meetings to be a great connectivity between all the members. It has changed the way we are living, the way we are working, and the way we are carrying out our activities. We need to embrace technology to help us overcome these challenges. We need to look at how technology is going to make many of our activities redundant. Because what we are doing or what we are reporting as auditors, the technology is doing. So take for instance, in the tax audit report we say, and there are so many questions covering section 48.3, 269 SS, 269T and 269 ST, whether these payments are made by online, by account pay checks, account pay bank drafts, so on and so forth. Now there is no reason why the banks cannot give that information to the income tax department. So instead of having those questions in the tax audit report, in the times to come, I believe those questions would become redundant, because whatever payments are not made by account pay checks would be available to the income tax department in a very simple format from the banks directly. So therefore there is no requirement, I presume there would be no requirement in the coming future about auditors reporting upon what are transactions which are otherwise done by account pay check. And traditionally we have been reporting, because the instrument is not available with the client, with the SSE, we cannot report on that. So let us look at what are the activities which will, or what will be our role as auditors which we are performing today, and which technology can very easily overcome. And at the same time, friends, there are a number of activities which we continue to do, the number of areas where we continue to report upon, which even in the online system will be very important for the auditors to look at. So we need to distinguish between what are the efforts, what are the areas where we are putting in a lot of efforts today, and which may not be required to be done in the same manner in the times to come. And this is the understanding which we need to look at, whatever we be doing, be it audit, be it consulting, be it any other activity, be it income tax return filings. Because there are technological solutions available which can file many more returns, or which could do it in a more simpler manner for many of the SSEs than their requirement to go to a chartered accountant or a consultant for advice. So we need to look at those areas which cannot be replaced. And one of the areas is a human connectivity. Even today, the kind of comfort which a client gets in talking to his chartered accountant cannot be replaced by technology. So those areas where the clients have difficulties and where they would have, even with technology coming in, would be areas which could be developed as niche areas for our looking at, for our continuing our professional practice. So if you look at the banking sector, one of the sectors where the entire technology is changing, as other businesses, the entire banking is changing with technology. Today, you and I don't have to go to a bank to do our normal transactions. We can do it on our smartphones, sitting wherever we are. And if that is what is going to happen to the banks themselves, the auditors of the banks will also face problems or will face changes and challenges which technology is going to bring in. So there used to be a time when all of us would be spending a lot of time in identifying, let's say, the non-performing assets. Now today the Reserve Bank of India has mandated all banks to have systems where there is complete automations of non-performing assets, classifications of non-performing investments. And with that automation being put into place, the physical efforts required to identify NPAs may not be required to the extent as it is required today, or the manner of verifications would undergo a change. So I think these are the areas which we should look at. One of the things which will continue to happen is frauds will continue to take place. As the preceding speakers mentioned, maybe the dimensions of the frauds may be much higher. The kind of risks that we have in case of cyber securities is much more threatening than what it was there in the physical world. So we have deposits which could just disappear by some people sitting somewhere carrying out unethical activities, illegal activities. So friends, what we should be looking at is how we use the technology in carrying out whatever we are doing in a more competitive manner, in a much better manner. And whatever is mere repetitive in nature, be it in audit, be it in tax practice, be it in any other form of consultancy, those repetitive actions will get automated, and our needs, our requirements as auditors, as consultants will change. So important for us is to understand what is the dimensions of changes which are coming in with respect to what we are doing today. So very interesting questions have been put in here as to the impact of technology on audit, tendering, fees and competition. Now, tendering is something which is not going to go away. We have today a certain mandated positions taken up by the institute, very rightly so, to develop healthy competition, to bring in to have a situation that in case of audit functions, unless the minimum audit fees is not quoted, we cannot participate in those tenders. Now we have in our country the Competition Commission Act. We have a Competition Act, and under the Competition Act we have a Competition Commission which has been set up more than 2 decades ago. So healthy competition is what the Competition Act promotes. And it is because of the concepts under the Competition Act that consequential changes were made in the Chartered Accountants Act. Clause 10 of Part 1 of First Schedule of the CA Act, which prior to 2006 said that quoting fees below another chartered accountant would be a professional misconduct. Undercutting was a professional misconduct. But with Competition Act coming in, that clause had to be replaced. And today, undercutting is not a professional misconduct. What is the society looking at is to ensure that the required technical standards are put into place. So these are changes which are all around us. And if we look at matters relating to tendering, tendering is not something which is unique in our country. Governments will be forced to go to the lowest bidder if all technical standards are the same. The governments will be forced to go to the lowest bidder to see that the government or the public money is properly conserved and properly utilized. And therefore, what is important for us as professionals is to ensure that we distinguish the technical capabilities in which the technical professional services are rendered, so that we can overcome that concept of lower financial bidding by way of a superior technical delivery of services. And that is where the challenge lies, and that is where the future opportunities lie. So tendering is something which is, to my mind, not going to go away. In fact, if you look at what is happening in Europe today, as we have rotations of auditors, rotation of auditors is brought in even in European Union. And there the period for which the firm is appointed is longer than what it is mandated under Section 139 of our Companies Act. We have 10 years, they have 14 years. But the appointment is through the tendering process. Appointment of auditors of listed companies is through the tendering process. Now, these are challenges which are not unique to India. These are challenges globally. And therefore, the service recipient is going to demand higher quality at more competitive prices. As service providers, we need to be geared up to see that we are rendering better technical services at more competitive prices. And that is where technology, the use of technology really comes in. Now, how do we really do that? And what is our institute doing? Phenomenal work our councils are doing. My compliments to all our council members for the kind of new initiatives which every year the council is taking. We have this Digital Assurance Board. Now we have this Center for Audit Quality. Let us look at what are the maturity models given by the institute. Am I measuring up to that digital competence which the institute has now started that model? So I can benchmark what is my digital maturity, what is my organizational digital maturity vis-a-vis what is there in the profession. And it is not just having new computers and new laptops, but it is using that technology for the purposes of whatever professional activities we carry on. The Center for Audit Quality has come out with certain parameters, as many of you would have observed. And it is in a competitive manner to see that if I am in a particular grade today, what is more that I can do to go to the next level. It's a very encouraging way of improving our technical skills as a professional firm. And some of these initiatives of our institute, I'm very happy to say, are landmark initiatives which even other developed economies have not started. The professional accountancy organizations world over are looking at what our institute is bringing out for all of us, and which is now being, in a way, implemented or being talked about in the other economies. Challenges of non-audit services will always be there. As Raghuji mentioned, consultancy is an area where we need to focus. Audit revenues globally are dwindling, but we need to keep in mind the challenges of non-audit services. What we have in terms of Section 144 of the Companies Act. So while it's good to network, it's good to expand our areas, but this concept of non-assurance services, not rendering non-assurance services to your audit clients, is going to become more and more important. We talk about management responsibilities under Section 144. Management services, actually we talk about management services are not permitted under Section 144. Under the International Code of Ethics, it talks about management responsibilities. Our institute has brought in this concept of administrative services. So how we navigate through this concept of non-assurance services and still build upon the audit clients and audit quality. So these are challenging things. Learning, unlearning, relearning is going to be the mantra for all of us for the whole of our professional careers. None of us can get out of it. No professional for that matter, be it a doctor, lawyer, or any architect, engineers, can afford to remain outdated as to what is currently going on, and same applies to us. Our president spoke about the importance of small audits. I think it is needed. It's required. If the society doesn't want audit, let it go. If a businessman doesn't want a tax audit, let him be happy without a tax audit. But if I'm going to answer 44 questions in Form 3CD, imagine the kind of assurance which I'm giving to my client and what kind of comfort he is actually deriving from my audit services in terms of his preparations for facing a virtual faceless assessment regime. And this is the message which we need to give to the clients. If you don't want an audit, we are not there. It is you who need the audit. Small companies need the audit because a small company is capable of undergoing restructuring, is capable of being amalgamated, is capable of being merged, demerged into another entity. What is small today could be tomorrow a very large organization. And therefore, the importance of audits of smaller companies is in the need of the society and is not a need for chartered accountants' bread and butter, is a message which we need to communicate to the society. Finally, friends, the success in the profession, and I'll conclude with this, the success in the profession lies in terms of giving to our client and making our clients realize that what he gets in terms of professional services from us is much more than the money that he has paid to us, the value of the service that we provide. And this is a feeling which the client should get, that the value of the service, what he has received, is much more than whatever monetary terms or monetary payments he has made to us. And if we are able to do that, believe me, there are numerous ever-expanding opportunities available to the profession, and there is no dearth of good qualitative professional work coming to all of us. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Friends, it's time for us to wind up. I think we should compliment Mr. Manoj Fadnis for his thoughts on how the change in the code would help us to move forward. The mantra is that get into new areas, plenty of opportunities. Let's look at the changes that is taking place around us positively. And with this, all the three of us sitting here wish good luck to each one of you, and I'm sure each one of you will be successful in your way forward plans. With this, I would hand over the session to the organizers.
Thank you, sirs, for that very enlightening session. It was a wonderful panel discussion, and we could hear the views of the three great leaders of profession. Thank you very much, sirs. May I now request our past chairman, CA Sajeev, CA S. Venugopal, and CA KP Paulson to kindly come on stage and present mementos to our eminent panelists, please. So you may come through the other side of the stage. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, sirs. We have concluded the panel discussion, and now we shall break for lunch. We have to assemble back sharp at 2 o'clock, and the afternoon session will be in the adjacent hall. This hall will be sealed for security purposes prior to the visit of the Honorable Vice President of India. Thank you very much. We shall break for lunch.